Qué rollo, quiero mandar un saludo a mi amigo Goodfella de parte de tu amigo Jaime Munguía. Un abrazo, carnal. Ánimo.
All right, man. Keith Thurman back in the news talking again. He says that he wants Errol and Keith Thurman this year. Might fight 3 times this year. Then he also said the Errol Spence Jr. fight is the bigger fight than the Terence Crawford fight. So let's talk about it, man. Let's go on this voyage. Okay. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. If you want to advertise with the channel, hit me up Twitter, the fast way, Facebook, and Instagram. Okay, going through something, need to talk, hit me up, man. I got you. Remember, we at the point where we're at the point where people lost a lot of people this time of year, just over the years, man. And some people lonely or they have an issue with coping with what's going on. A lot of people lose have to lay people off, lost loved ones throughout the year and this time of the year. And it's hard to cope, man. I've been there, done that. So make sure you check on your peoples, man. You know what I'm saying? So I make sure you check on people, man. Check on them older people too, man. They'll be having much to eat and all that shit, man. So and you're supposed to do this all the time too, not just time of year. Just supposed to do this all the time of year, man. Especially us dudes, man. We go through stuff that we don't feel comfortable talking about with each other because people see it as a joke, and we supposed to be hard and all this. We go through this jokesters, we different, man. Women able to express how they feel, and that's natural, but it's not natural for us to express how we feel. Okay, I just want to put that out there today. So that's something to think about, man. So make sure even the person that seem okay, man, they not okay. But yeah, like I said before, a lot of people, even when it comes to Terence Crawford, people do a lot of hating on Crawford, okay? Or people have an opinion on Crawford, even if it's just a natural opinion, it's not hating, but it ain't that much hate on Crawford for the average boxing fan, especially the fans who keep Thurman as their favorite fighter amongst their favorite fighter at one point. It ain't even enough, hate. It's not even enough hate on Crawford to have so much hate and endorse Keith Thurman. They endorse Jerron Ennis, they endorse Virgil Ortiz, and they endorse Josh Taylor against Crawford. But Keith Thurman burned a bridge with the boxing fans that he got to earn back. And I'm not saying he doesn't have the ability. I'm not saying he doesn't have the ability to. I'm not saying he doesn't have the ability. He doesn't have the ability to earn it back. I'm just saying it's going to be a long road. It's just going to be a long road in earning that trust back with the fans. You burnt that bridge boxing over in the streets in Nepal when you said your elbow was hurting, okay? You burnt that bridge when you took the 2 belts and held it hostage, and most people thought you slowed down the welterweight division for Errol to unify. To be honest, like I said, Errol shouldn't even be here for Crawford. Crawford should be, making his mark on the welterweight, division, okay? And then, what I'm saying, he should be at 54, and we should be talking about them moving up, fighting each other at 54. He should be already unified and done. And a lot of people identify Keith Thurman with the guy that's slowing that down. They're having a doggy show, party over too. So a lot of people identify him, as the problem. A lot of people identify that dude as the problem, bro, and he probably is the problem. Okay, he probably is the problem, bro. And like I said, if y'all didn't catch my review, we celebrating Christmas Day. I got some family members that, they thought they had to work today and get that double time, and twice, and they canceled it. But like I said, man, he just burned the bridge. He burned the bridge, bro. Mason talking back. It's my mom. So he burned the bridge, with the boxing fans. It ain't even that much hate towards Crawford where they're gonna endorse him over Crawford. That's just the point. They say Jerron Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, Jermell Charlo. We keep going on and on. You know, they say a lot. They say a lot of different names in the boxing community before they endorse Keith Thurman, man. They never go to endorse Keith Thurman. It did again. You know, can I blame him? Hell no, man. I'm done with Keith Thurman too, just like everybody else. Hell yeah, I'm done with that Joker too, man. But I still want to see him fight. Exciting. You know, it ain't because he lost the motherfucking it ain't because he lost the old boy neither. It ain't because he lost to it ain't because he lost to and not because he lost to what's my man's name before I do it. It's not because he lost to it's not because he lost to Pacquiao. No, I ain't what people problem is. People problem with that Joker is because he lost to it's because he lost to it's because he held the division up too. You know, it's because he held the division up too. So a lot of people had ill will towards him. But now he said he wants Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. at the bar. Then when he came back, he said he was on the comeback trail to fight them. And then the pandemic came. Then he didn't want to fight for short money. And I can't blame him. If you able to retire, if you able to not fight, you got enough money. Keith Thurman got enough money in the world of the street. Keith Thurman is he's very good with his money. And most outfighters reinvest in money, but he drove a Prius for a long time. And the only reason that he would be coming back for money, because his wife's spending a whole bunch of money. His new wife's spending a ton of money. That's the only reason that he'd be coming back for a whole bunch of money. Okay, we said, well, I'll get back to work for real this year. We're going to get check 1, check 2, and check 3, said Keith Thurman to the Zoner's comeback. Quote, I'm ready. It's been a long time coming. I want to go to work. He said, I'm not done, Thurman. I'm not done. Thurman continued. Quote, there's only one beautiful thing about not being in the ring. Come on now. Ain't been beat up, and I'm not taking blows to the head. So I got work to be done. There's plenty of work to be had. The welterweight division is stacked. I might not be current champion, but you best believe that Keith Thurman, all these current champions, is tremendous, and I'm a tremendous challenge. The quote, they can't underdog me with whatever they want to do about me. And that's why we're coming back in the ring and reminding people about what Keith One-Time Thurman does in the sport of boxing. I bring action, I bring the entertainment, I bring the great fights, said Thurman. Okay. So he said that, quote, Spence and Crawford are both on the table, said Thurman when asked to pick between the one that he would prefer to face for a world title. He said, quote, look, I want the biggest fight first off. Come on. Boxing, we don't forecast the season. This is not basketball. This is not football. And I respect for the sport boxing for what it truly is. I do not forecast this season. I do not have a contract that says after Barros it will be Terence Crawford. Quote, there's no real schedule. We have plans, but to be honest, I don't have a real preference. I think they're both good fights, and I want both of them, said Thurman about one of Crawford and Spence. Quote, I can have both of them. I want both of them. The only problem with my mom walking the dog, I can see it from the side of my window. Think about it, it's a lot of strays outside. So I can keep an eye on them from here. There's a ton of strays outside, but she like walking the dogs over here. He said, my bad. He said, we just going to see which one is presented. And like I tell everybody, when I see the contract, I negotiate, I sign it. It's that simple. So they said he hoping for a title shot. I said, the problem with Bob Arum is they never even sent me a contract, said Thurman. They were just talking words, giving me a low number. I said, stop this drama, call Al and write up a contract. That never happened. So the fight never happened. It's really as simple as that. Not only am I a world-class fighter, but there's some serious in the business. We don't get into depth about it, but it's real fight up. But real fighters understand how it goes. My thing is this, bro. When you say $10 million, like, why would I even negotiate with you? Why would I drop a? People got to understand, bro. You drawing up a contract that takes money, bro. They get lawyers involved and shit of that nature. Like I said before, you said $10 million. At that point, I'm not gonna draw up a contract. You said 5. Sean Porter negotiated. You know what I'm saying? Sean Porter, his daddy negotiated that contract and then went through L. It took a minute, but you didn't negotiate. That could have been you. You could be had the last belt and be fighting Errol Spence. So I ain't trying to hear that. So after the fight, Barros, I'm looking forward to a contract. That contract will have Terence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr. I think the bigger fight is Spence because he unified champion. There are rumors about him and your Dennis Ugas we could bring 3 belts. Quote, I do think that would be a bigger 5-2. But I also heard Spence don't even want to talk to Thurman. Spence don't even want to negotiate with Thurman. Quote, we've heard these things, but to me, it doesn't matter until the real talk and real negotiation, until Al lets him know, yo, this is a big fight. I don't need a rematch clause. Just come and see your boy. Just come see your, I think he meant boy, Bodie. I think he meant boy one time. That's all I said Thurman. So my thing is this, bro. He right. He's absolutely right, man, about writing up a contract. But when you say $10 million guaranteed, I mean, we all know how the game go. I'm not going to negotiate with somebody that throw that high of a number. I know he posted like 6, 7, maybe even 8. They could have worked with you, but he bring more pay-per-views to Sean. Sean got what, 4 or 5? I mean, he could at least got 6 or 8 out of him. But then again, you ain't even been out there as a name. That was the first guy they tried to get was Keith Thurman. So then again, you threw that high number. I think with Deshaun, and Sean did what you supposed to do. If you want something, like my boy Dolph said, go get it. Call them too. Be like, hey man, this is what I want, but you said some crazy shit. You did. He said some crazy shit. He said some crazy crap. So I mean, come on. Sean Porter got a low ball offer, and he kept grinding at it through the years. He said, man, look here, I ain't gonna fight again this year if I don't get this fight. He made it happen. So Keith Thurman is full of molasses. How about I keep it like that? Keith Thurman is full of molasses. He full of that bull jive. He full of it. So I mean, we can talk about him all we want to, but like we said, until you beat Barrios and you healthy and you don't go hide in your foxhole again, you know what I'm saying? Until you go hide in your, hide in your foxhole again, we can't believe nothing you say. Your word is no good here. Your word is as good as American Express around the world. It's no good, not everywhere. So like I said before, he can talk all he wants to. But honestly, your word is no good here. Say what you want to say. It's no good. You messed your word up. But like he said, you can very lose the Barrios when you looking to fight the two of them. And he right. Errol Spence said, yo, I'm done chasing them. But Errol Spence has contradicted himself again. And some of it could just be frustration. We've seen Crawford say, man, I don't want to do that shit neither with him. He said he had the same feelings about Errol that he had about Keith. Not as hard, but then again, he ain't been chasing Errol as long as Errol been chasing Keith. If that make any sense. So you got to remember that too. Crawford and Errol was able to get on the phone and, whatever he said, maybe it was a timeline, maybe he didn't say so much, but, I don't know if Errol even got Keith on the phone. What make it hard is they both on the side of the street. So that disclaimer that people be screaming that call Al, go sign the Al. Well, Keith Thurman was signed to Al. Errol was signed to Al and the fight didn't happen. I remember we was begging for Keith Thurman to fight Sean Porter. That took a second to happen. Not as long. You know what I'm saying? I remember, Keith Thurman had to pull up to niggas' press conference. He was talking to the press in the concourse inside of arenas, calling out Amir Khan, pulling up on Paulie, calling out Bronner, saying, if I knocked on Bronner's door, he wouldn't answer it. Come on. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Keith Thurman got overpaid. And then also you put that on top of, he take care of his money. Come on. When they give you so much money that you don't have to think about poverty no more. You take care of that money you invested, and you buy Priuses, and you live a simple lifestyle and don't have all this flashy jewelry. It's like, man, I really can retire right now. You know what I'm saying? Then you got a future in calling sports. He said he's gonna start a YouTube channel to show how women and how people are out there, men out there, how to defend themselves. Like he a nigga with a plan. That fire not there no more, unless his wife's spending all his money. You know what I'm saying? That fire's not there no more. And maybe he can get it again. But ain't nothing like the fire of poverty. That's what truly separates, everybody in the NBA is talented. I don't use this as an analogy. Everybody in the NBA is talented. But the fire is a fire still lit when you get the money, when you make it. You still go hard after you Derrick Rose, you get your first big contract. You start hard, do you have the dedication and the fire to be the best like Kobe, Michael Jordan? You got to understand the talent is pretty much the same around the board when these niggas come into the league as far as, who the top players can be. You got some guys everybody got potential. Everybody got potential. You know what I'm saying? The difference is, the dudes don't get comfortable. The dudes with the work at the dudes that want it more. And I'm not sure that fire Keith Thurman is there anymore to want it more. I don't think it's there. And no fire like the fire of poverty. Athletes that come from poverty give us the best ones, and guys who don't come from poverty, when it was the middle class and the high class, they usually driven by, oh, you got a silver spoon in your ass or your mouth. Everything been given. That's what drives them. And poverty, what drives them is getting out of their situation, saying they can't get out. And what drives the guys that's got a good home is saying, oh, you soft, you suburban nigga, everything been given to you at the best, you have to grind. And that's what drives them. That's why you see a lot of these niggas I talk about all the time that I grew up with or been around that try to act gangster. Nah, they come from a good household. They get frustrated when niggas say, man, you ain't this, you ain't hood, you ain't grow up like me, and that's good. Kids dream of poverty of living like some of these dudes living pretty good. But I'm not sure Keith Thurman has got that no more. And I'm telling you, it's hard. It's hard to rekindle a flame when it's gone. So what drives Keith Thurman, man? That's what you got to ask yourself before we talk about Spencer Crawford. What drives Keith Thurman in this comeback? He fresher, he healed, but that's cool. That's different. What drives him? What is his motivation? Is his money low? Do he really want to be the best? Do he just want to go out there and get a check? What drives him? Do he really want to punch his ticket into a Hall of Fame? You know what I'm saying? We've seen fighters come back all the time that need money. It's hard to get that engine. It's hard to prime and crank that engine back up. I think his best motivator to come back is literally to be a Hall of Famer, to entrench himself into a Hall of Famer. Now, as far as how he looked versus Errol Spence, or the easier fight for him, I think the easier fight is Errol. I think the easier fight for him is Terence Crawford. I think Crawford is the easier opponent. If Spence is what he was, at least when he left, even though he might be drained, he must be busting at the seams to go up. I think stylistically wise, he get Crawford way more healed than Spence. But I think the tougher fight for him is Crawford. The tough fight for him is Errol Spence. Because Errol Spence jab and he throw wide punches, and Errol Spence throw straight punches and short punches, accurate punches. And the thing about him and Errol is with his wide punches and his foot movement is how he beat Errol Spence. His feints and movement. If he still can feint and move and punch over the top, he might have a chance. But he going to the same game plan that he figured out with Pacquiao. He going to throw straight punches versus Errol Spence and then loop it around. If he go in there throwing looping shots and he can't move the way he move, he going to get picked apart. He going to get bullied into the corners, into the ropes. And then he also got to get Errol respect. You know what I'm saying? And I think with him moving and take away Errol, when you take away Errol jab and you move him off the spot and you keep him turning or keep him resetting because he got to set the punch, that, you take away his jab, then he's not thinking about the body shots no more. You know what I'm saying? When you take away his jab, he's not even a prize fighter, bro. When Spence jab, he remind you of Mickey Ward or a tour guy. He just throwing crazy shit. When he no longer can jab, the jab and his footwork was set up was what makes him special. He able to cut the ring, close the distance off, jab and touch your body. And once you take away that jab, he's elementary. He's elementary. That joint like that was about Sparta Lope. He elementary, bro. He's an elementary fighter. He's very beatable then, but you let that jab go, and that jab set up the footwork, the pressure, the cutting off the ring, and cutting the distance off. It's different. You know what I'm saying? It's different. So yeah, that's a tougher fight for him. Spence is the easier fight for him, but I think if Thurman can move and Spence, I think he can mix in on straight punches. He turned Pacquiao in. The key for Thurman in that fight is feint, movement, using straight punches and mix them in with his looper shots. He loved looper shots. And I think he could punch around Spence guard. He got a nice little uppercut too. But Keith stopped the nigga to the body. Keith stopped Diego Chavez to the body. So yeah, I think that's the easier fight for him. But him going in there versus Crawford is tough. Spence is a harder fight for him too. Him fighting Crawford is the easier fight. And the reason why is because his movement and Crawford movement. What separate Crawford probably winning that fight too? What separate Crawford winning that fight because Crawford can throw short and looping shots. When he load up, Crawford is just gonna touch him. You know what I'm saying? But What make Crawford easier for him, bro, is because they both can move. It's a chess match. The one thing about Spence, you know Spence gonna come in and move towards you. You don't know, Crawford might come towards you. Crawford might, sit in the pocket. Crawford might use footwork, but they just match up better. I think his style, his movement, his speed is something that Crawford ain't seen too much of. You know what I'm saying? As a professional, you have Victor Postal, but he like Victor Postal with athleticism, and he not as upright. Which could be an advantage or a disadvantage. I think Keith is a tougher fighter because his perpetual movement. At his best, he just as shifty and quick. I think Crawford is more slick, but his shiftiness and his quickness and his ring IQ it's just a boxer puncher's matchup. They both got really good IQs. They both can break, but the difference in that fight might be if even if they fought in their primes at 4-7, the difference in that fight is can they take each other punches? But it's been shown that other welterweights can take Keith Thurman punches, and his elbow start because he punched stupid. You hit him. We talked about him hitting the bag the other day, Wednesday. He don't punch how he should be punching. That hurts his elbow. But I still think he got enough power to keep Terence Crawford respect. But if he can't hurt Crawford, it's gonna be a long night for him. Because the thing about Crawford is he's slick. And he's versatile. You know what I'm saying? He can just counter Keith. Keith can't go in there and outpoint Crawford and think he's going to outpoint him to a decision. He got to turn it. Both these guys, him and Spence and Crawford, he both got to turn into the beast to beat them. The thing about Crawford is you load up on them looping shots. You think Pacquiao did something to him, Crawford to put your lights out. So stylistically wise, it's a more intriguing matchup. But about him and Ugas too, because you got to throw Ugas in there too. Him and Ugas is a good fight too. And the thing about Ugas, he gonna back Keith up, and Ugas can take Keith punching power, which Ugas ain't really never been knocked out. He never been knocked out. He been knocked down, I believe, at 140. The thing about that, Ugas is a great matchup too. Because Ugas will back him up and he'll counter Keith. So Keith can't really outpoint Ugas unless he hurt him. So you can't outpoint Ugas neither. You can, but the thing about Ugas is he work off of your work. That's what he naturally do. He's an aggressive counterpuncher. So Ugas is a tough cookie too, man, to crumble. So I had to name him tough. The toughest fight for him is Errol Spence. That's the toughest fight for him is Errol Spence. But then the second toughest fight for him is I think I get an edge to Crawford because he can punch. And then Ugas, but they all tough fights for him, man. So yeah, tough fights for him. But yeah, let me know what you girls and guys think. Check the Welterweight Boxing News playlist for more videos like this. Let me know what you guys think. Girls and guys think who the toughest opponent for me, stylistically wise. Want to make a financial donation? Cash App, CJ Good 313, Venmo, CJ Good 313, PayPal link description. Appreciate the donations. Cash App and Venmo roll to bottom screen. Both of them in the description. The PayPal link in the description. Find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram if you want to reach out. If you want to advertise channel, request, chop it up. You just want to support our social media. Then after that is you want to best way to donate, thumbs up the video, share the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, the subscribe button, the bell icon button, have it all notifications, increase your chance of notifications. Appreciate the love, support, peace.